All right. Welcome to Coffee Talk. You're going to get a little, see that little nose right there? See that? This dog is obsessed with scrunchies. You're going to see him get up there and pull that out any second. Hey, here's your bone. We'll see if he'll let me do this. Oh, he is. He's taking his bone, sitting here with me. Found a new little perch. We've done a lot of spring cleaning in my house and moved furniture around and stuff. And so I have a new little perch here in the living room. So can't believe that's in there. Usually that lasts about 30 seconds because he gets up there and pulls those out. Hope you guys are doing well this morning. I am going to make one video about this. I'm going to address it this one time. Yes, I'm copying Fancy Fiction from last night. Yes, I was watching her live stream and I was not commenting on purpose. But I was noticing many people's supportive comments, and I appreciate it. A special shout out to McRamble on for letting me know how much my channel meant to you. That really touched me, and I appreciate you for letting me know that. So I did not know Fancy was going to do this until she put it on her Patreon. That was what I learned about it when the rest of you did. Obviously, I've been in contact with her over these, I think it's 6 months now that this smear campaign has been going on about her Me Society page, I guess. I don't know who else has been sucked into it. I've talked to other people who have been disparaged by these people also. I'm not going to name names. I'm going to try to keep this as concise as I can about myself. Right off the top, you can choose to believe me or not believe me. You could choose to hate my guts and love these people that are doing this. That's not my aim here. My aim here is just to tell my perspective of what I went through and to provide some clarity for people that might need it, because there was a lot of people in that live stream last night that were very perplexed about what's going on. It is a very perplexing situation. And so I'm going to answer some questions that came up there, if this dog will let me. So far, so good. Yeah, everything Fancy said is true. There's no, I don't know, this triad thing is pretty bizarre. That was not then, that is not now. There are obvious connections that were made through content creators. Here he comes. He's coming to get it. You're going to see he's right next to me, just staring. Here he comes. I'm just going to show you. This is what I deal with. Here he comes. He's going to watch. He's going to gingerly take that out of my hair. There he goes. Now he's happy. He got his scrunchie. Anyway, so I'm going to try to keep this brief. I have not addressed it like Fancy. She and I have talked about this throughout these months in support of each other. Obviously, we've both been on the receiving end of this. The society page, I'm still in regular contact with, but we just decided we don't talk about this anymore because we have a lot in common. Films, food, primarily gardening. So we just decided months ago, like we're going to continue on with the friendship and focus on the things we have in common outside of this case, outside of this drama, or we're not. But, if we're going to continue this, let's cultivate a friendship based on the things that we have in common. So we send each other pictures of things we're cooking. He sent me gardening pictures this week. No, he is not a felon or whatever is being said about him. That's not true. I know his real name, whatever that's being doxed about him is not true. He's doing fine. He's got a very full life with Juan Carlos, and, this was healthy for him to step away. Of course, he made some amazing content and videos and stuff like that. And yes, this harassment did push him out of this sphere, as it did cause me to close my channel down. But like him, I looked at a larger picture here, and that the true crime, I've been really contemplating and doing soul searching about the true crime world. It's brought a lot of positives into my life, like many of you that are out there watching this, and it has also brought a lot of negativity into my life. And weighing the balance of all of that, and how much do I need to be involved in other people's cases and stuff like that. So, there's been a soul searching time for me. So getting out of that in a very abrupt way was also healthy for me, but it's been traumatic. I'd be lying if I said it wasn't traumatic, what's been going on. Being the recipient of stalking, cyber stalking, harassment, cyberbullying is not fun. And it's not for the faint of heart at all. And but as one person I reached out to, I mean, I've received professional support through this. One person said, if you can survive this smear campaign, you can survive anything. She's also the woman who said to me, because she's more familiar with smear campaigns that are like through a divorce or a breakup or something, not like the online caliber. And she's the one that said to me, wow, have you seen that show Baby Reindeer? This sounds a lot like that. So it's been a lot. I've had a lot of people reach out to me. I haven't lost any friends, real life friends that I made, like going to Tallahassee and stuff like that. Those friendships are intact. People are staying in touch with me, in contact with me. People are checking in with me. Someone who is very beloved in the case, related to the case, contacted me once at 11 o'clock at night. And I was like, they have my phone number. And I was like, whoa, what's that call coming in? I was in bed. And like it alarmed me. And they were just like, Kathy, I can't go to sleep tonight without checking on you. I'm very worried about your mental health. I know what's going on. People off themselves over things like this. And I need you to reassure me that you're okay. You guys would probably be shocked if I said who that person was that contacted me. I mean, I have been contacted by 2 lawyers telling me that I needed to file reports and consider defamation suits. I mean, I've looked at all of it. My husband and I sat, when I realized I needed to pull the plug on my channel, I had a channel with nearly 8,000 subscribers, was when 2 people separately reached out to me and told me that these people were now targeting our daughter. We're posting photos of our daughter and trying to basically dox her and her mother. That was it for me. That was the line, that they're coming after our family. And when I found myself sitting at my kitchen table with my husband saying, because one of these lawyers that contacted me said, you need to contact the FBI. This is interstate, blah, blah, blah. I mean, this is serious shit that I, at the beginning, was navigating. We sat down and said, at what point do we do that? And I just looked at my husband. I said, this needs to be out of our life. This just needs to be completely out of our life. I'm pulling the plug on this channel. He was very relieved because, you know, I brought this in to my, by having this channel into my family. I had no ambivalence about it. It was 100% a self-protective move. Not everybody was pleased with me for doing that. I received feedback that I should have just deactivated it. I really didn't even know. I didn't really research the different things. I just said, I need this done. And it was pure self-protection, purely self-protection. So I'm not going to talk. I'm going to try to keep things here on my own experience. And I'm not going to get into like, oh, this person did this, this person did that. But just to give some perspective from my head on what happened. And, you know, and I made some mistakes with my channel that I would not repeat again and will not repeat on this channel. And they were coming out of a place of thinking that that was right at the time, and just a perfect storm of things, and just trolling, getting on my damn nerves, you know, and, you know, all of that, you know, getting too caught up with things, you know, all of that stuff, you know, just caused me to make some mistakes, and that I would not do again. I don't know if I'm going to detail all that right now, but that's, you know, and I have been talking to people, getting advice, listening to hard feedback from people, stuff like that. So I have been doing some soul searching about my own involvement, but there are some things that are inaccurate about my own involvement that I'm going to talk about. So this all, at least from my understanding, got triggered when I was in Tallahassee, involving a meet and greet that I organized. Patty Wilson was invited to it. It all just happened. I was just inviting people online. So I wasn't reaching out to too many people to like give them a personal invitation, but she was invited. Something happened through the course of that and the next day that got Patty very upset. I'm not going to break it all down because it's a she said, she said situation, and it doesn't matter. The details of this to me don't matter, but she got very upset over some things that happened. There were some things that happened on my end that I wouldn't say they were upsetting, but they were alarming about some behavior that I witnessed and that people came to me and talked to me about that were like, yeah, that's causing me to take a step back. That's it, you know? So anyway, that happened in Tallahassee. She got very upset. Her reaction to being upset was to go on, apparently on a live stream, and start venting all of this upset at me. The first sign of that came to me was that she was calling me a drunk and an alcoholic. And that I know that because suddenly I was barraged with comments on my channel calling me a drunk, a drunkard, an alcoholic, you're drunk. Emails. And mass unsubscribing. And somebody I never went and looked at what she was saying. I think it was the next day that I was aware that it was going on, but I didn't look at it. I don't know that I ever looked. I think I might have gone one time. And I mean, the level of vitriol was so intense that, and like Fanci, I thought this is going to blow over. Well, here we are 6 months later. It's never blown over for her. She was extremely upset with me, apparently, and fixating on me being an alcoholic. The only thing that I can gather from that was based on was that my husband and I did a wine tasting online. From Savannah, because he flew down there, drove back with me. I had these 3 bottles of wine that I was schlepping around from place to place that I like impulse bought during the hurricane I was fleeing from. And like, I never opened them. For an alcoholic, I had a lot of wine that I didn't open. But anyway, we did this wine tasting because my husband's just really funny doing wine tasting. We did it online. Apparently so she was telling people that I was an alcoholic. I don't know what else she was telling them to get them so upset with me. And apparently she was telling them to unsubscribe from my channel. So that was going on there. I don't know what else specifically that there was, but there was this, that was the beginning of this campaign, to this hate campaign, to get people to unsubscribe from me, to, disparage me. And the first thing was calling me an alcoholic, which is not true. I am a social drinker. I've always been a social drinker. Right now, my husband and I haven't been drinking this year because we're on this health kick. But, I like wine tasting and stuff like that, but I've never been an alcoholic. And apparently that's been something they've been mocking and making fun of me about, which is pretty sad because I know at least one of the people that's doing that is in recovery. And like, if they really thought that I was an alcoholic, mocking somebody and making fun of them for that is pretty shitty behavior, but of course they don't really think that about me. They've just attached that to me. I guess they make fun of me for liking flowers and for dancing and whatever, I'm just like this, the butt of their jokes. That it's not funny when you're being stalked. So anyway, that started escalating. I thought this was going to die down. It started escalating. I don't remember even the sequence because I blocked a lot of this out, honestly. But I need to talk about Allison. Allison, I'm talking to you because you stopped talking to me back then. Allison was one of the first people that contacted me with the vitriol that was going on Patty's page, because she found it very upsetting. And she contacted me like, oh my God, Kathy, I remember where I was in my house when she called me and like, this is so upsetting. And this is so, unhinged was a word she was using. And she's so vicious and unhinged. I can't believe it. What's going on? Why is she doing this? And, so we had at least one long conversation about that. And she gave me a lot of information to the point where it's like, I just can't even hear this anymore. It's very distressing to hear people say stuff about you that's not true, and that but she's the one that told me that Patty was bragging about having been arrested for cyber stalking. And that this came from Allison, that she said that Patty said, well, the kind of something like, I'm paraphrasing, like, joke's on them. I've just gotten better at it. So she's now bragging about, her skills getting better at stalking while she's stalking me, while she's cyber stalking me. If you have ever been stalked or cyber stalked or anything like that, it is a pretty scary place to be. And she's not let up with it. So, I just was doing my best to cope with that. But there was also something in the tone of these conversations with Allison that was not like, I've got your back. I'm just watching this for you so that you know what's going on. For me, my perception, when I sat back, like, why am I so uneasy with her, was that she even said something like, it's like watching a train wreck. I can't turn away. there was something about it that made me uneasy because she was enjoying it for like the entertainment. That's how it felt to me. I can't speak for her, but that's how it felt to me, that she was enjoying watching this for the entertainment value. And that didn't feel very supportive. That felt, and I was just in this, like, who can I trust? Who can I trust? Because I'm getting it left, right, and center. I'm getting people that, were on my channel, regular people, like sending me nasty emails and nasty comments, and like people buying into this stuff. And I don't even know what's being said about me that's making people so angry with me. Because I'm just hearing, because I just immediately chose to not look at any of it. And I never have. So anyway, that's what happened with Al. I'm going to answer some of these questions with Allison because it came up last night in Fanci's thing. And I'm very sad about Allison. I'm extremely disappointed and very sad because Allison and I had a really nice connection. I felt like we did some really positive things for her and for her case. And as I understand it, she still has that interview on her channel. But she did turn on me, So, and anyway, I was starting to have this uneasy feeling like she's sort of enjoying this. And obviously, like, I'm not enjoying this, and so it just felt uncomfortable to me. And I didn't know how to express that other than like just get out of the conversation. Well, then I got information. And so I just sort of took a little step back there. And I got information that she was, like, a few days later, actively participating in the chats while that was going on, which was very confusing to me because just days before she's telling me, oh my God, she's so unhinged. I can't believe she's doing this to you. And why do you think she's doing it? And we were, I was sharing a lot of, backstory on this is what happened in Tallahassee. And this is what I think might be going on. And some of the stuff, just stupid, off the cuff, dumb humor stuff, and thinking that Allison was a safe person to talk to. She was not, for me, as it turned out. So she sent me a text saying, I know that you're taking a step back, but do you want to be in contact? Can I still contact you outside of YouTube? I don't know if I had shut my channel down yet. Maybe I had shut my channel. I don't know the sequence of things. And maybe I had shut my channel down. So she reached out about that. Well, that was around the time that other people were sending me, I'm hearing things from other people because I'm not looking at any of this stuff, that other people were sending me, Allison's like actively over there, which was really disturbing to me, that she's going from, oh my God, the vitriol, and Allison and I were quite close, to now she's actively participating. So I did talk to her on the phone. I called her, she called me. I don't know. She reached out to me in an email and asked her what's going on. I'm aware, because there was more than one person letting me know this, because they were alarmed, and she said, as it was just saying hi, I don't know I never saw what she was doing. I just asked her, I'm aware that you're participating over there. What's going on? And so we had this conversation. I didn't raise my voice. It wasn't angry. I was scared. I was scared, and scared that she was turning on me, which sadly proved to be correct. She was. So that conversation, was just a lot of me like, what's going on with you? And saying to her over and over, and her saying, well, I'm just saying hi. And I'm just, and I just said, listen, I'm not telling you what to do. I'm not telling you to not engage over there, or that you got to pick any side or anything like that. But what I am telling you is that I need to protect myself right now. And I used her terminology. She's an epidemiologist. She's a professor at Yale University, an epidemiologist. And I said, I'm going to use your terminology with you, Allison. I need to mask up around you, because now you're kind of a carrier of this to me. If you're part of that community and you're talking to me, you're a carrier of this, and I am protecting myself. I am setting up solid boundaries around myself. I can't have this in my sphere. And, well, where does this mean? What does this mean? I said, I just left it with, I don't know. That's how I left it. I don't know what the future is here, which is exactly how I felt. I don't know. And what I was feeling is, I don't know if I can trust you right now, but I don't know who I can trust. I mean, this was a onslaught. And she had been the one to tell me that Patty has criminal charges. Now, I don't know if there are charges. I don't know if she, I don't know. I haven't investigated her. I haven't done any of that. I mean, I have things that people have told me about her, but what I know from Allison is that she was bragging about being arrested for the very activity that she was exhibiting toward me. And our daughter was being weaved into it. And I was like, what are this person's limits? Is something going to come to our home? I mean, this is a natural reaction to this kind of invasion. I found that out because I've received a lot of support and I've done a lot of research on it. So, and other people validated that. As my husband said, it's like you're walking down a dark alley and the town's known rapist is following you. I'm not comparing this to that act. I'm just saying what his point was, is that it's normal to be afraid when you are targeted by somebody with the very behavior that they have exhibited in the past. So Allison then, right after that conversation where I was just like, I don't know what the future holds, but I need to be in self-protective mode right now. And unfortunately, that includes you right now, because I kind of don't know what you're doing and why you're doing it. And so she sent me an apology. I wasn't asking for an apology. I didn't need an apology. She sent me a lengthy apology. And I'm going to show you the text message that I sent back to her, because I just found it again and screenshotted it and sent it to myself, because this is the worst thing I ever said to Allison. Right here. I'm going to show it to you. Allison, I care about you. Let's see. I can't keep revisiting this subject. It was on October 15th. I can't keep revisiting this subject as I'm doing my best to ground myself and heal from this unexpected onslaught from a escalating criminal behavior toward me. Again, I'm using that word because that's coming from her. She's the only one that told me that, by the way. This will pass in time. For me, though, detaching as much as possible is my remedy. Thanks for understanding. Tuesday, October 15th, I sent that to her. And then I just detached. Then I just did that. Then I just detached. I had no idea how triggered she got from that and what she did with that. To the point where, like, a few weeks later, I found this thank you card that she had sent a gift to our daughter for like her birthday, I think. And she had made a thank you card. And I'm like, I had slipped it into my computer thing. I'm like, oh my God, I never sent that to her. I couldn't find her mailing address. I reached out to her, I don't know where your mailing address, and she never got back with me. And I'm just thinking, you're taking some space. I'm taking some space, and, we'll check the temperature, having no idea that she had fully turned on me by that point. And had fully engaged in Patty with the vitriol against me. And apparently, I don't know this. This is all just secondhand stuff, because I'm not going out looking for this or anything. But she's calling me a narcissist, and that I abandoned her, and that I devalued, and she teamed up with Mia Wallace, who also did the same thing, because, like what Fanci said last night, Mia Wallace was showing very strange behavior on Instagram and making comments about these two female content creators and whatnot. And I blocked her because I was just in full self-protection mode. Like, okay, there's another one that I can't trust. Okay, there's another one that's believing this vitriol from Patty. So, like, I was just in full blown, tightening things around myself to feel safe, Mia Wallace is another story. She's actually really, really stalked me. And the worst thing I've done to Mia Wallace is that I blocked her on Instagram. I reached out to her many, many times and got nothing back from her, and blocked her on Instagram after she started striking out against me and Fanci. And I'm like, whoa, she's become an unsafe person. That's the worst thing I did with her. And she apparently has an Instagram account targeting me, has a page on Reddit targeting me. She dug up my old Buy Me a Coffee page that I thought was deleted back in October. I really fought with those guys. They were having all kinds of computer issues. I have a whole email back and forth with them about getting my account shut down. And it took me like 3 weeks to get my funds out of there, and they were not easy to deal with. I had no idea that page was still in their system, buried in their system, not attached to anything, not fundraising, never receiving anything, no intent to ever do anything with it. It was not attached to my new channel. I thought when my old channel went, that went with it. And she parlayed that into reporting me to the Justice for Dan people, who contacted me saying that I was actively fundraising for their organization, which I never did back then, and certainly wasn't doing it currently. Really tried to harm me in my actual life and my actual relationships. Luckily, I was able to explain this to people, but these are complicated things to explain when somebody is aggressively trying to misrepresent you and harm you, and which Mia Wallace has been doing, along with Patty and now as well Allison, I guess. It's my understanding that Allison is going on lengthy live streams disparaging me, and is supporting these videos that are on YouTube. I've never seen one of them. And on Fanci did warn me she was going to show those, because Fanci knows very well that I have shut it down. I have shut her down when she's tried to bring me stuff, because, my husband is like, you cannot see this stuff. You cannot expose yourself to any of it. And my husband's to the point, like, I will forbid you from talking to people on the phone if they bring you stuff to look at, because it's harmful. He could see the impact on me, and, that it was traumatic, to see this stuff. And a lot of it lies. And, there's just some really vile things that have been created about Fanci and me and Society page that are out there that people find funny. Back to Allison, she finds this kind of thing humorous and funny, and it's not funny to be on the receiving end of that. It's harassment, it's harmful, it's nasty, but that's her humor, and she finds that funny. It also got back to me that she has been openly sharing my words. One person told me that she did share my final text with her, but she left out the part that said, "I care about you, Allison." That's deliberate, because that makes the whole thing look a little worse, doesn't it? But I started it with that, which is true. I do care about her. I care about justice for her mother. That has not changed for me. I would never welcome her into my life again or trust her again, obviously, because of the way that she chose to do this. That apparently she's been like telling all kinds of things that I shared with her in confidence. I mean, you just don't do that to somebody. I think Allison is very conflicted. Last I heard, she still had a video on her channel of her minor child thanking me and honoring me, while at the same time trashing me. She's been openly trashing Fanci Fiction, but showed up in her live stream last night. Like, that to me looks like somebody who's conflicted. I still would never trust her again, and I hope she finds her way out of that conflict. But for me, that is over. That personal, I can set that boundary, know that this is not a person for me to trust. And at the same time, you're not going to hear me responding in kind with anything that I have that she's shared with me in confidence, because like I said in my prior video, I got to live with myself, and that's not a way I want to be. At one point, somebody shared some things with me that Patty had said on her live stream that made me think, man, she's really kind of, if she perceived sort of a telephone game, somebody said this, somebody said that got back to her, back to the Tallahassee thing, I can see why she's upset. This was when I thought, oh, we can resolve this. I made a video addressing it and apologizing. And I think the title of my video was like extending an olive branch to Patty. Like I could see if you heard this and this and this, that you would perceive it that way. Let me tell you what was going on. And apparently she was also saying that I snubbed her like a year before. So she had been harboring some grudge for a year against me. I had no idea that I had done that I had made her feel that way a year before. So I thought maybe we could talk about that. What happened? I mean, I have no recollection of the thing that she said that I snubbed her. I have no recollection of that. But I can look at my part in things and try to resolve things. So before I published that video, which I never did, I wrote her and it called like an olive branch and sent her an email. Couldn't find her email address. I sent it to her office and just said, listen, we have been on the same side of this case and I would like to resolve things with you. And I've been looking at my part in things and I think I can understand why you have certain feelings about things. I don't remember what I said, but that was the vein of it. And can we please talk? And she did get back with me. I did not publish the video and I sent her the link to the video. I made it private and I said, take a look at this because it was me apologizing and extending an olive branch in this video. Take a look at this. I won't publish it without you seeing it first and without, you acknowledging that this feels okay because I'm addressing you. This is the first time I've ever addressed her right here, right now. It's been 6 months publicly. And she did get back with me and said, thank you, Katie. I got your video. I got your email. I'm busy. Like that. I'll get back with you later. And then I was so relieved, like, okay, maybe we can unravel this. We can find some sort of peace in this. And so that I wrote her back, I just sort of melted like, okay, there's hope here, and this has got to stop. This was very early on. This was like back in October, maybe. And I probably still have that email. And said, I'm really sorry for anything that I've said that's hurt your feelings. And let's try to work this out. And she ghosted me. So I just never heard anything back. And I heard from somebody else. She did the same thing. Somebody else extended an olive branch to her and she ghosted them too. So I realized after that, there's something else going on here. There is not an interest in resolution here because there's an interest in this campaign. That's what's going on here. And then I started really researching smear campaigns. This is a very classic smear campaign. It has all of the elements of it. And then I started getting help and support. And we did look into possibility of getting legal assistance and stuff like that. And that's not completely off the table if certain boundaries are crossed, but you don't want to be sitting down at a kitchen table with your husband talking about, okay, at what point do we contact the FBI and make a report? I've been through enough, with crime, and I've had enough intrusion in my life from people representing my sister's killers and all that kind of stuff. I'm not welcoming any more of that in my life unless I absolutely need to. So I just cut myself off from all of it, obviously got rid of my channel. I got a lot of emails and requests to keep something going. So I decided to step away from covering the Markel case, really true crime. And I have enough going on in my own case right now, which is kind of major at the moment. And I don't need to be focusing on other people's cases. But I'm aware, and people have alerted me over these months that this has not gone away. In fact, it's escalated. Mia Wallace has been escalating. Someone from my past emerged that has gotten very active in it. People are digging up apparently everything that they can dig up on me from my past to call me, the drunk thing. I don't know if they're still doing that. Patty at one point decided that I was torturing my puppy by claiming that I had a electric collar on my puppy. Somebody wrote me an email about that, imploring me to rehome my puppy because of this electric shock collar. Never had a shock collar on my puppy. I have an ultrasonic tick device called Tickless on my puppy's collar that was seen on a video. I'm aware that they take, I'm sure they will with this one, take all my videos and, pick them apart and mock me and make other videos out of them and memes and that sort of thing to mock and humiliate me and try to harm me, my reputation, my mental health, stuff like that. I'm doing okay in spite of that, but it has apparently not let up. It's, been growing. I do believe that people like this eventually start cannibalizing each other in time. And so I just have divorced myself from the whole thing. and gotten on with my life. As this woman said to me that I did some coaching with about this, said, if you can survive a smear campaign, you can survive anything. And I've survived far worse than a smear campaign in my life, as you know. So, but this has been something to navigate because, I haven't known where it's safe for me to show up online and stuff like that. So, but that's been good because I've been devoting more of my time to my offline life, which has been healthy for me. So, and my husband would attest to that. So I don't know if there's anything more to say about it. I imagine this video is probably going to be dumped into their cauldron of, fodder for mocking me and making memes and videos and all the stuff that they're doing because they need to do that. I don't need any of this. For whatever is driving this, they need to do that. And they are getting something out of it. And it's feeding something in them. It feels good to them. They're having fun with it. It's funny to them. It's entertaining to them. They feel like I deserve it. They feel like whatever I did to Allison, to Patty, to Mia Wallace means that I am a person who deserves all the stuff that's coming at me. But I've gotten stronger. Things like this will increase your resilience and that sort of thing. It was cathartic for me to hear Fanci tell the truth last night about this. It was cathartic because we've been holding it in, for months. And it's good for me to learn discretion and boundaries on myself. Part of on my channel, what I did was a lot of oversharing. I felt super vulnerable about my channel because they were mining through all my videos to find stuff to use against me. And I did a lot of oversharing on there. There was things that I just, out of stupidity, out of ignorance. When I came onto YouTube, you guys, I was not even that much of a YouTube consumer. I just was very episodic in coming to YouTube to look up certain things, but I wasn't in any kind of YouTube community or anything like that. And I created a channel without knowing very much about any of these dynamics at all. I remember somebody saying to me though that, most content creators, I wasn't even trying to become a content creator. I was really just looking for a place to do jury observations and put them somewhere, document that somewhere. But then it started turning into something. And then I started getting consumed with it. And it really started becoming way too much of a big part of my life. And I dismantled my whole studio area at our other house months ago. And our daughter said to me, man, it looks really nice to look over there and see that all gone. So, that was her way of saying, I'm glad that's out of your life. So it was taking away from my family, even when things were good, and that I wasn't even aware of. I got swept up in things and, I got to be aware of that with myself. So I have to really pull back and have more discretion with myself and what I share about other people and stuff. So, I've had some hard conversations with people and some very honest conversations with people that mean something to me. So that's been good. All of that's been good. I'm not going to keep going on this topic on this channel, but I felt like I got up this morning, I said, I'm going to ride the wave of momentum from Fanci's live stream last night. And also to thank the people that said supportive things. That means a lot to me. And to just give my perspective. And again, you can take it or leave it. All I ask is that if you leave it, just leave it. Think about just leaving me alone. That would be the best thing. I'm not asking anybody to even pick a side. There's no sides for me because I'm not in any war. This has been a one-sided onslaught from the beginning. There's been no even defending. Society page disappeared. I shut down my channel. I haven't mentioned anything about any of these people. This is the first time. Fanci hasn't either. Other people that have been peripherally kind of targeted have been silent about it. We sometimes talk to each other about How are you coping? How are you coping? But this has been a one-sided onslaught. And I don't see why people don't get that. Yeah, this isn't infighting. It's infighting when there's two sides fighting. This has been a one-sided war, and that some people just are getting a lot out of. So, yeah. Fancy mentioned last night that, these bullying is only eradicated by the bystanders. I remember watching a documentary on that it doesn't have to do with the bully or the bullied changing. It's the bystanders. But I've also asked everybody to not intervene for me. I've had a lot of people reach out to me saying, what can I do? What can I do? I just say, don't feed it. Don't dress it. Don't bring my name up, nothing. And I still feel that way. I've had also people say, I've really wanted to confront this and support you, but I don't want to get on her radar, because people like that are scary and they don't want to be the next target. So they, and I get that. I've never held that against anybody. Oh, you didn't defend me or anything like that. I don't want people defending me. I don't want people engaging with this at all. Fancy was going to do a call for action about reporting it. I mean, I don't report it because I don't even go on these sites. So I don't have a Reddit. Nothing. So I haven't reported anything. This other jibs and jabs thing, I've never even looked at that. In fact, Fancy thankfully warned me, because she knows that I really, really protect my mental health around this stuff. And she said, I'm going to tell you at such a point that I'm going to play those videos from that thing so you can sign off, which I did. I just shut it down so that I don't even hear or see that stuff. I mean, I really, really very strongly protect my mental health, and that's why I'm doing so well. And, I'm maybe just going to talk more about that resilience, and because, this is a problematic things. Oh, just anyway, it's telling me it's cutting me off. All right, it's my sign. I'm going to end this, but thank you for listening, and hope you guys are doing well. I'm not going to keep harping on this, but I'm riding the wave of Fancy's momentum last night, saying my own piece, and I'm done now. So my coffee's cold, but I will catch up with you guys next time with hopefully some. And Mr. Beasley was so good. He was sitting next to me the whole time, and he never got rambunctious, which is pretty amazing. So he's growing up. Our little baby's growing up. I took him for a long walk yesterday in the neighborhood, and he sure told me when he was ready to go home, he's like, he just stopped moving and he just turned around and he just started running, like he wanted to come home. And I think he was thirsty. So I've learned that I got to bring some water in some way when I take him on these walks, because it's nice out and we're going on walks now. So hope you guys are doing well out there and doing something fun and productive. I have a really fun day ahead of me, and evening. I'm going to go see The Last Showgirl with my friend and out to dinner. So I'm looking forward to that and some other things. And I get to see my hubby tomorrow. So lots of love out there, and hope this made sense. And said my piece, and now zipping it back up. All right. Take care.